please welcome up Destiny Birdsong.
Thank you. I might need to. Is it okay if I turn this slightly away from me? Cause
yeah. Do what you need.
my eyes are a little. Okay.
How are you doing, Adam?
I'll return it back to
okay?
its original place. Okay. So I'm gonna be a little brave and read a poem I wrote today. Right now it's called Killing White. By 15, I'd killed flies, suffocated frogs in plastic condos that once held spaghetti. I plucked crawfish from their muddy streams, watched them gray in the sterile water. I found an albino cockroach camouflaging itself on a roll of toilet paper. I think I let it go, but I really can't remember. On the school bus, someone said if you saw one, it meant there were 100 regulars in the house, maybe more. Those were the odds. The only time I've ever been suicidal, I'd been to Japan, beetling past boutiques, cafeterias murmuring with the tinkle of flatware, porcelain, and polite stares. I photographed a flame-haired devil grinning on one side of a building. For 6 days, I refused to wash my face. Each morning, I'd trace my translucent eyebrows brown, dust my sticky cheeks with ochre and blend. Some delusions are so fragile, they crumble at the touch. When the doctor asked why I'd planned to hurt myself, I told him I'd run out of places to hide. Some days, I want to crush the pearly thorax between my fingers, watch the compound eye pop loose from its orb, let it see, for once, the color it is inside. So I've been thinking a lot about myths, and so this poem is called Mythicana. Heavy is the head of the welfare queen, though my mama is the only one I really knew until she got the call from Atkins Elementary. It would be mornings of waking at 4, walks to work, most months in the dark, a baseball bat for the dogs, and who knows what else was lurking around the overgrown tracks on 79th. Long days on the cafeteria's slimy floor, baker's burns and swollen calves I would rub with green alcohol, old shoes I would repolish white, food stamps still, and a caseworker who said she had a chip on her shoulder. But even so, she shouted hallelujah as the receiver clanged against the bass like a tambourine, her gold tooth glittering its open-faced corona, the ceiling fan with its missing blades marking time, a rickety metronome for our procession into a new life. Except it wasn't that new. Handed down like our summer clothes, T-shirts emblazoned with the names of other people's vacations, White Sands, Galveston Beach. When I was in 8th grade, she quit without notice, spending mornings watching reruns of the A-Team and doing my makeup. Mauve lip liner like she learned at a church seminar. Stepping back to double-check her work, she'd say, I love it when a plan comes together. Which didn't mean anything then. It would take years to untangle each thorny detail. The manager's coat she brought home had me unstitch some embroidered name from the breast pocket, but never got to wear. My therapist would call it a disorder. I would do a similar thing after remission and call it Sabbath, spending afternoons in the upstairs window, threading synthetic hair through coconut-oiled cornrows, arms raised like a harlequin's juggling swords, miming the gestures of my neighbors, the bleached co-eds folded in midday yoga on the porches below. My mother would confess that any metal can poison the blood. There is always the threat of insurgents. So many concessions for survival, so many crosses lined up like railroad ties. It seems like somewhere besides my mama's mouth, I'd have found a crown. Oh.